Let's transition into your third question.
All right. See, my third question's gonna be boring. Because my third question was originally intended to be my first question. Have you seen any good movies or shows lately that you recommend I watch?
Okay.
Also, the sub question to this question is: You're watching Clone Wars. Tell me about how it's going.
Okay, so we just reached the end of the first season. We got introduced to Cad Bane, undoubtedly one of the coolest characters in all of Star Wars. Should get his own movie, or definitely should appear. And has he appeared in Mandalorian?
He is not.
Okay, he should definitely appear. I mean, they have Mandalorian, Obi-Wan, and the Book of Boba Fett. I know that he's mostly a prequels character, but I'm hoping that we'll get to see him in live action someday. Uh,
Can I spoil another show that he appears in?
Wait, what'd you say?
Can I spoil the other show that he appears in?
Oh, he appears in Bad Batch, right?
Yeah, he's in a couple episodes of Bad Batch.
Okay. Yeah, don't spoil it, because I kind of have an idea of what happens to him there. I don't think it's good. But
Yeah, well,
yeah. So like basically at this point in the show, there's been two episodes that have really challenged the Jedi and the Republic and made them look worse. First, there's the episode with the little lemur people and that stupid old head guy was like, "I will not fight even if my people will die," and that guy's whole philosophy was like, "I understand the pacifist point of view, but I thought that was pretty stupid." And then there's the other episode where they go to Ryloth and they're freeing the
hmm
people there, and the leader of their kind of like the Ryloth army of the people or whatever, he's kind of challenging the view of the Republic, and you're kind of seeing, Dave Filoni and the creators of the show, they're trying to show that like the Republic and the Jedi, yes, they represent something good, but they've definitely lost their way. They've definitely strayed from what they used to be. Overall, the show is pretty. I enjoyed the first season. There was some pretty cringy dialogue between Padme and Anakin in the last episode. And one thing about the show is that like there are this only I expected this because it's a cartoon. There's been two or three times where they just totally skipped over the continuity of something. Like there's that one episode where they meet that super corny German doctor who's making that disease that he wants to
hmm
release on Naboo, and somehow Ahsoka and Padme and all the other clones trapped in the base, they're able to extract them from the base that's filled up with this gas, and they don't really explain that. I think it was just a plot armor, you know.
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, but I know that the show is going to get better. But overall,
Yeah.
so the season ends with Zero the Hutt's gay ass finally getting out of prison. Which is like, oh, the creators, dude. Like, I haven't watched the Clone Wars movie in a very long time, but I reread the plot of it, and I was like, bro, like, I was like, what is George Lucas thinking? Like this is like you wanted to put out an animated movie, and this is what you gave us a Zero the Hutt plot. It's like, dude, like
You know what would have been a great plot line for the movie?
what?
Is those malevolence episodes.
Hmm.
Yeah, but instead they did Jabba's son
Yeah,
got kidnapped, and Anakin and Ahsoka, who's a whiny little brat,
yeah,
has to go get Jabba's son.
yeah.
That's the most boring arc of the Clone
It's
Wars,
like,
and there are Jar Jar arcs in the Clone Wars, and they still managed to find
oh,
one worse than that to make a movie.
oh, a quick note about Jar Jar. I mean, or Representative Binks, as they call him. This fucking idiot literally managed to smash Padme's entire ship, and, and like it's like how does this guy like how can this guy be any kind of representative? To,
When you said this guy managed to smash, I was expecting a very different back half of that sentence.
oh, like in a different context.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I could sit here all day and talk about the stupidity of Representative Binks, but he always lucks out in the dumbest way possible, which honestly just reinforces the Jar Jar is a Sith. theory. He's just been playing stupid. I mean, if Palpatine could have played stupid all those years, I mean, what's stopping Jar Jar from doing that?
Yeah.
But I will say though, Jar Jar and Padme are a pretty good team.
Mhm.
But also,
There's a Jar Jar and Mace Windu team up that you'll get to in later seasons, and Jar Jar calls him Mastering Mace. Mastering Mace.
so I'm gonna so yeah, okay. I'm gonna ask you, since you've seen the whole thing. Is there any like a Jar Jar moment that was like truly epic?
I can't remember if it's in season 1 or not. I don't think it is, but there is a one Jar Jar episode where I'm pretty sure he tricks Newt Gunray. Like that's not really like a high praise because Newt Gunray.
Yes.
But yeah, I think that I know the Mace Windu and Jar Jar arc. He does something in that one to get like Mace Windu's respect. I don't remember what it is because it's one of my like least favorite arcs. But
Okay.
off the top of my head, I know Jar Jar tricking some of the Separatists in a kind of in a very Jar Jar way is probably his epic moment.
I see. Okay. Well, yeah. Well, that's all I have to say for the Clone Wars. In terms of other shows I've been watching, I'm a big Sopranos guy. Um, Yeah, I mean, if Sopranos is definitely a good show to watch, especially like the first season, just fucking captivating, amazing acting. I'm also going to. I've saw like 10 minutes of an episode of this show, and I decided I'm going to start watching it. Peaky Blinders, which is about like the English organized crime, or the British organized crime that was going on after World War One. So yeah, I'm either watching something mafia related or Star Wars related. Um, however, if you want to know good like YouTube series to watch, I would recommend BuzzFeed Unsolved. Yes, shameless plug for BuzzFeed, but that is by far their best series. But yeah, in terms of actual TV shows that I'm watching right now, I definitely recommend Sopranos, and I'm gonna start watching Peaky Blinders, which looks pretty good. So what about you?
What about me? I have not started any new shows because I'm watching way too many shows. I'm
Yeah,
watching Luke Cage, West Wing, Game of Thrones, and Batman the Animated Series right now. So I don't
I
want to. I don't want to start another show.
I definitely want to start watching Batman the animated series. I think the Batman cartoons are dope. I haven't seen them in a long time. And shout out to Mark Hamill for being the voice of the Joker in most
The
of them.
best Joker.
Yes,
The best Joker. Um, yeah. As for movies, a couple nights ago, I watched Arrival. Have you seen that?
I have not.
So it's directed by Denis Villeneuve, who is doing the new Dune movie, and so I wanted to watch some. I wanted to watch his American movies before I see Dune. Not that I hate foreign movies. I loved Parasite, but it's just the movies that are in English are just more easily accessible.
Yeah.
And he has a lot of foreign films. I was like, I'll watch the ones in English and then watch some of his foreign ones when I get a chance. So I watched Arrival because my mom said it's great, and it is. It's not uplifting though, but it's aliens come to Earth, and they don't do anything. They don't attack or anything. They just kind of hang out in their spaceship, and it's Amy Adams and Jeremy Renner are trying to learn how to communicate with them. And I'm not gonna spoil the twist of the movie, but it's incredible. You should watch when you get a chance. I want to say it's on Hulu.
Okay.
So yeah, hard. It definite recommend. It's probably a top 10 movie
All right.
for me.
I will for sure have to check that out sometime. Yeah, in terms of movies, I haven't really been watching movies, just mostly focused on TV lately. But with that being said, I'm going to ask you my third question, and it is also movie related. So let's pretend like the Star Wars, the original trilogy never happened. let's pretend that we started with episode 1 in the year 2000. And there was no obviously, because you didn't start with the fan base, there was no guarantee of sequels for it. If Star Wars Episode 1 came out as it was without the fan base that it had, would Star Wars have survived?
Okay, if Phantom Menace came out, okay, there would not be an episode 2 or 3.
Yeah.
And that's just plain simple. It's like part of the reason people say show a first time watcher release order or release order is because if you show them chronological, they'll get bored.
Mm-hmm.
Because 1 and 2 are just so much nothing until episode 3 happens.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, episode 1, okay, imagine watching only episode 1, not seeing 4, 5, and 6, and you're introduced to this dipshit reptilian.
Yeah.
Who talks like a dumbass, a very bad kid actor, a naked droid, a shitty CGI race, and then it's 2 hours of just bullshit before you get to Space Jesus fighting Space Satan.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like it'd be a movie with a cult following, but there would not be any sequels to that.
Yeah, pretty much my fault. It would go down as one of those like movies that was like so bad it was good, or very cult. Exactly, a cult following. Like it'd be one of those things that like your dad or older brother would be like, "Hey, you ever seen this one? It's a pretty good one. I'm kind of surprised it never got a sequel." Then you watch it and you kind of like, yeah, I could definitely see that happening. Here's a kind of a follow-up question to that: is that could you get the entire Star Wars story just by watching 3 through 6? Because I was thinking about this, and I was kind of thinking about telling that to someone who's never seen Star Wars. I was going to recommend to them, just start with 3. Just watch 3 through 6 and ignore the other ones.
Yeah, I'm trying to. I don't think. I mean, obviously, you'd miss like a couple of the things, but the main story, I think you'd get just 3 through 6. Like, I think we
Yeah.
were talking, not even on a podcast call, just talking about the fact that the prequel trilogy is 2 movies of setup.
Yes.
So, like, you can basically cut all of that.
Because if you think about it, episode 3 grabs your attention right off the bat. You get introduced to Obi-Wan and Anakin, the 2 heroes. You know that they have to rescue the Chancellor. You know that General Grievous, you know that they're fighting this droid army. You know that Count Dooku was the head of this movement, the CIS. Then after that whole battle over Coruscant, they land. You meet Padme. You know, it's obvious that Padme is Anakin's wife. You know, we don't need any of the
And that they're not allowed to be married.
Yes, because it's kind of like you would lose the lore of the Jedi, but you could pick up on the story if you're an avid movie watcher or someone with an IQ over 100. You'll be able to pick up on the story.
Yeah. I honestly am not sure if I saw 1 and 2 before I saw 3. Because I know there was a point where all we owned was 3 and the original trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
So I would watch 3 through 6. It was exactly that.
I see.
So,
dude, I grew up on episodes 1 and 2 heavy.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I remember when I was little, because, like, I wasn't movie watching as constantly as I was, and I couldn't just go up in my room on my computer and watch a movie.
Mm-hmm.
So I would watch episode 1 and episode 2 and then just not finish them.
Yeah.
And then, like, a year later, I would do 1 and 2 and not finish them. So I've seen 1 and 2 so many more times than probably all the other Star Wars movies.
Dude, there was another. Did you ever seen Iron Giant?
A long time ago.
Dude, that is a classic. I haven't seen that one in a while, but I grew up on that movie. Okay, let's get into your 4th question.
All right. I asked this kind of because it's something I actually want to think about myself.
Okay.
Hit me up with like your top 5 or top 3, 3 to 5 celebrity crushes.
Top 3 to 5 celebrity crushes. I mean, okay.
I told you my 2 questions are simping and movies this episode. There's nothing else.
So I'm gonna have to go. I'm gonna have to go with obviously the low hanging fruit for this podcast. I mean, Okay, I'll give you my top 4 since we're doing 4 questions today. In no particular order: Daisy Ridley, Scarlett Johansson, Emily Blunt,
Okay.
and I like this MILF comedian, Sarah Silverman. She used to date Jimmy Kimmel.
Okay.
Yeah, those probably the 4 celebrity crushes that I got right now.
Okay.
How about you?
All right. I will probably end up using all 5 of these.
Okay.
So, of course, as you said, the low-hanging fruit of this podcast, we gotta get Daisy Ridley right in the top spot up there. I think right now Elizabeth Olsen is 1. Haley Steinfeld, definitely. Haley Steinfeld is one who has, over like the past year, has just crept her way just like higher up the list.
Yeah.
Also, I'm pumped to see her in Hawkeye. That's the reason I'm gonna watch Hawkeye. Um, who else, man? The chick from It is definitely one, and then like I know her name, but I just call her the chick from It. It's Sophia Lillis, and then the girl from the Suicide Squad. Yep. Also, did you see what Haley Steinfeld looked like at the Met Gala?
Let me look this up real quick.
Because like she looked so unrecognizable, like it looked like a different person.
Oh wow, she's beautiful. Haley Steinfeld, Met Gala. Oh wow. Yeah, she looks
Yeah.
way different. The hair, I think, is what really changed the look. The hair, the makeup. Yeah, they made her eyebrows lighter.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Nice. Okay. Well, my 4th question for you.
Nice.
This is. I know you're a big Spider-Man guy, so I'm gonna. You probably knew that this question was coming at some point. So this isn't speaking about the movies as a whole. It's just about the characters themselves. Who is the better Spider-Man, Tobey Maguire or Tom Holland? And you have.
Oh, thank God! If you put Andrew Garfield on here, there'd be a clear winner.
No disrespect. Andrew Garfield's a good actor, but he was not a good Spider-Man.
All right, you are treading on some thin ass ice. I love Andrew Garfield as Spider-Man. Tobey or Tom? You dick. This is not even based off like writing of the character, just the like performance and right.
Yeah.
Or,
okay. Yeah, it's more of just a Okay, hold on. I'll give you some more time to think, but I'll ask you another question. Isn't Andrew Garfield wasn't he unpopular as Spider-Man? Do you think he just got a bad rap for that?
The funny thing with him is Andrew Garfield's run as Spider-Man is having the same effect that the Star Wars sequels have given the prequels. Everyone hated the prequels till the sequels came out, and everyone hated Andrew Garfield until the MCU made Spider-Man just Iron Man Jr., and now everyone loves Andrew Garfield.
That's it, because like I'm a total casual when it comes to the MCU, and for years I saw Andrew Garfield getting shitted on, so I didn't know that. So that's good to know. So that's the new.
Like now he's a lot of people's favorite Spidey now.
Yeah, that's interesting. I feel like though for anyone who grew up watching Tobey Maguire, it's hard to change the answer from that.
Mm-hmm. I think Tobey is the best Peter Parker.
Okay.
I think in terms of overall look of the character and then just kind of like his like peppiness.
Yeah.
I think Tom Holland. So I think if Tom Holland, so I'll say Tom Holland's the best of the two.
Okay.
Sure. But I think Tom Holland with Tobey's writing would be perfect.
Very good point. Very good point.
Yeah.
And
but I love all 3 live action Spider-Man. Like I don't have a favorite. Like you had to be a little dick and give me that question.
But I made you pick, and you picked Tom Holland, so the record will show.
Yep. Although in Spider-Man: No Way Home, we're gonna get all three of them.
That's true.
People still refuse to believe it, but there is no way that they aren't all in that movie.
I mean, how can this be the Halloween episode and we don't talk about our favorite costumes? So I want you to name your favorite costume that you've had and your worst costume that you've had.
Favorite costume I've had. If I still have the picture, I'll put it in here. When third grade, I think I was Darth Maul.
Ooh, that's
and
hard.
We glued horns to my head.
You're
So we got fake horns and the body glue stuff. And my mom pulled up the Phantom Menace poster with Darth Maul's head on it, and she face painted me based off that poster, and then she glued the fake horns on my head, and then she did the suit and cloak, and she even made shoe covers, so that way my shoes looked like boots, even though I was just wearing like Skechers.
Dude, that's awesome.
Yeah, so I think that's my best costume.
Your Batman costume was pretty damn good.
My Batman costume was dope.
I mean, I know that you come pretty heavy with I'm assuming, right? You go hard with the costumes because.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You want to know what I plan on being this year, and if not this year, then next year?
Yeah, sure.
The original design for Batman. This is going to be a bit of a shock. But this is originally what Batman looked like.
Wow, that is awesome.
Yeah, so that's what I'm planning on being.
We need a movie. We need like a 1930s set movie with Batman dressed up like that.
We do. Watch the box office explode.
Yeah. Oh, here's another question. Speaking of Batman, and then I'll get back to my costume thing. This kind of just goes for. Actually, I'll save that question for the next episode. I'll save that question for the next episode.
If you're gonna give me who's the best Batman.
Well, I wasn't gonna ask you that, but I will ask you that next episode now.
Okay.
Okay. My best costume. I had a great Marty McFly costume because I made my own red Nikes. I bought like a $20 pair of white shoes and I cut out Nike swoosh cloths. I cut out fabric. I cut out fabric. Sorry, I'm tired and hungry.
You'll get there.
Yeah. I cut out red fabric in the shape of a swoosh, glued it onto the shoe, wrote Nike with like a red marker on it. So I made my own custom Marty McFly shoes. Not, everyone knows him from the high-tech shoes, okay? I'm talking about first movie Marty shoes. So, before he, so those, sorry. So I made the shoes from the first movie, which a lot of people forget about. I had the authentic vest. I had a skateboard with me. That was definitely like the most accurate and the costume I probably put the most effort into. I went through a 2-month Marty McFly phase because he was like the ultimate short king. He's one of the OG short kings. My work costume.
Shout out to Marty McFly.
Shout out
his mom. Yeah, this episode is sponsored by Marty McFly, the king of the short kings.
Yeah, this episode is
his mom fell in love with him. His very attractive mom fell in love with him.
Yeah, he was so charismatic. His own mom fell in love with him. And can we talk about how he had a pretty good-looking girlfriend for a short guy? So, fellas out there, don't let height define you. Shoot your shot.
And also. Shout out to Doc Brown, because the whole reason Marty McFly ends up time traveling is because Doc Brown had to run from Libyan terrorists. It's like that plot point is so out of nowhere.
Yeah.
He's like, oh no, Libyan terrorists are here, and then gets shot.
Yeah, it's like Libyan terrorists are here to steal plutonium, like as if they would know what to do with it.
Yeah.
Like what? Anyway, my worst costume was probably when I dressed up as a Chinese rice farmer, probably because of that aged forest.
Whoa! Hold on. Do you have a picture of this?
I'll ask my mom. I'll ask my mom if
Chinese rice farmer.
Yeah, in terms of political correctness, that one probably aged the poorest, especially since I am half Asian, but I am a white guy. I mean, just look at me.
Yeah.
I also had a year. I wouldn't say this as the worst costume. This was probably one of the funnier, but in a bad way, costumes. I dressed up as a piece of paper. I took this from The Office. This is one of Jim's costume, white shirt with 3 black dots.
Yeah, three-hole punch Jim.
But yeah, to recap, best costume when I was Marty McFly when I was 14. Worst costume when I was a Chinese rice farmer when I was 10. Happy Halloween, everyone. The day after this airs, I will be making Actually, I might be making my social media comeback before this, so we don't know when that's going to happen. This is also the first episode that's going to be edited by John. We did again another 2-part episode. I am tired, but I am more hungry than tired, so I'm gonna go grab like 5 snacks from the kitchen. All right.
John also hit 220 subs.
Oh yeah. How can we forget?
So
to John on.
So go subscribe to MCUHQ.
Yes, links in description. Shameless plug. I'm gonna be for this episode, this 5th episode. This will be the first episode where I will include my link tree, and you guys can check out all the projects. I'm gonna have like 15 YouTube channels running at this point. So I do this for a living, guys. So and anyway, yeah, big congratulations to John on getting 200 subs. His channel has been doing healthy lately. So with that being said, this has been another episode of Back of the Class. If you're partying on Halloween, stay safe and take care. Peace out.